Imagine a world where magic is real, or that space is not the only final frontier. This is the world of role-playing games and the role-playing game hobby. Games such as Dungeons & Dragons were originally created to provide rules for these fantastic adventures. So, as we look at the history of role-playing games today, then, we'll look at the past, present, and future innovations of this industry. Consider then for a moment that William Shakespeare probably didn't actually use rules for Romeo and Juliet, or Hamlet for that matter. However, role-playing is as old as acting itself. And while we may not discuss it much here, we are going to look at the past of role-playing games and the ideas and people that helped sire it. War games, using small-scale figurines to reenact historical battles between armies, was considered the foundation of role-playing, as Dave Arneson and Gary Gygax would add things such as classes, warriors, wizards, and rogues, levels to determine how powerful you are, and races such as elves and dwarves for that splash of the fantastic to tell a tale above the normal soldier. It also created the role of players, actors if you will, and the game master, who is essentially the referee and storyteller for the game. However, due to the complex nature of original rules, the heavy mathematical equations involved, and the almost algebra-like calculations needed, it was seen as a hobby for nerds. And it wasn't until recently, in present day, that modern conventions helped modernize, streamline, and help it branch out to video games, media, and even made the hobby itself kind of cool. Take, for example, games such as Vampire and Savage Worlds, which bring their own new systems and new takes on the genre, and the fact that even Dungeons & Dragons forewent a lot of the complex math in favor of a simple roll plus a few modifiers to solve a resolution mechanic. The growing market also extended into video games, and as long as consoles and computers have evolved, role-playing games have always been there to push the envelope. For example, Diablo by Blizzard Entertainment is one of the first games to actually use the internet to allow people to connect from all across the world with one another, something they would build upon later with World of Warcraft, the first massive multiplayer online game that many people consider worth anything. Let thousands and thousands of players connect into a multi-million-dollar industry that include not just people like you and I, but people as famous as Vin Diesel, William Shatner, and Mr. T. But, like all trends, role-playing games, as much as they've expanded, have to keep up. And in order to do so, they have to constantly push the boundaries and strive for new innovations, new technologies, and find new ways to use them. To this end, video game companies have gone away from the traditional model of pay-to-play services for like MMOs. The free-to-play service, which is popularized by Champions Online, offers players to download and play a game for free, only paying for the parts they want, where consoles, such as the Xbox 360, have allowed things like the Kinect to translate out-of-game motion by the player into in-game activities on screen, such as shouting voice commands to your squad in Mass Effect 3. Indeed, the future of role-playing is bright compared to the shattered past, but it's up to new players, new generations to have new ideas to move it forward and bring new innovations and leave their eventual mark on this hobby. With a distinguished past, a bright and ever-growing present, and the ever-expanding horizon of the future, it's funny to see how something so small became a global phenomenon. From the founders of Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson to the vaulted halls of Wizards of the Coast and Blizzard, considered Titan industries of their Titan, role-playing games have a story and a legacy as rich as the tales they tell. And I hope that you have enjoyed this tale as well. Thank you.